We're now continuing with mix and yield, and there we go. We've got a question that we want to look at. We have a question that we would like to look at. So that's the question there for mix and yield. Now, mix and yield is such a simple concept. Even though the examiner loves it, I don't know why the examiner loves mix and yield, because it's so easy to calculate, so easy to understand. But anyway, we are going to do it because it's important. It's extremely, extremely important. So let's go. So remember, earlier on our earlier sessions, we are discussing cost variances, and here's what we did. There was this other guy here that I want us to talk about here. There was this other guy here. Now, this guy is what I want to show you on this other guy. So we have this other guy here, and this other guy is simply this other guy. There was a guy called material variance. Material variance. So what did we say? We said that material variance, this guy is a good guy. This guy gives birth to two other guys. You see? He gave birth to what we call the pricing, and then he gave birth to what we call the usage. You see? So I told you that material price variance, material variance has got two variances. I use the word for now. So now the time has come when we're going to see other variances attached. So this usage guy gives birth to something called the mix. And then also give us something called the yield. What are you right, yield? I doubt whether, I don't know. Maybe somebody could have taught better than I have done, but whatever the case is, yeah. Okay. Yield, yeah, that's yield. That's the perspective for yield. Good. So what I'm looking for now is this guy. See, on usage, we're just trying to see the kind of labor force we are working with, were they competent enough, were they blah, 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 what is the relationship between the usage and labor, blah, 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 etc. So now I want to see the mix, because sometimes making one product requires that you use more than one type of material. Now, the best way to understand usage, I'm going to come with the theories. I love theories, as you know. I'm a theory fan. I'm actually a theory fan, but for this particular session, I want us to go straight into the question for mix and yield, because that's how we're going to understand it. Okay, so let's go. Let's move on to mix and yield question. So mix and yield, we're looking at just a few things here. We're looking at what should be done, but there we go. Okay, so mix and yield variances, we have a question number 51. Somebody read the question for us, then we calculate, and then we do the theories. Somebody do the question, read the question, then we calculate, and then we do the theories. Because we need to know when to calculate mix and yield variances. Somebody read the question for us. We continue, please. The question. Madam Emma, looks like the gentleman don't want to read. You may help us with the question.
Mr. Mfune can read.
The question.
The question says, calculate the following variances: sales volume variance, planning and operational variances for sales volume,
Yes.
price, mix and yield variances for each material.
This guy is a free mark in the exam. And then look at the last part. Critically discuss the type of standards used in standard costing and their effect on employee motivation. Yes, you see what I told you earlier, that go and find out the type of standards. We have a question now. And the examiner narrows it down to the effect on employee motivation. You see? Very important question. 6 marks is not a joke. So suggest possible explanations for the variance calculated in part A above. So you need to know, so don't just calculate these variances here, but also know what they mean. Also know why they are caused. Okay, so let's go. What's our sales volume variance? So whenever you see the word volume, I think I've been talking about this for a long time. Whenever you see the word volume, think about what? What should you think about, Madam Emma, when you see the word volume in variances? Professor, when you see the word volume, what should you think about in variances?
The units.
Contribution.
Yes, think about contribution or profit, not the units. Contribution or profit, which means for you to work it out, you need the standard contribution or the standard profit every single time. Never changes. So let's go. So see a premium food manufacturer, understand the question what they do. Food manufacturer is reviewing operations for the year X3. The company operates a standard, see that? Standard marginal costing system. You see? And manufactures one product, ZP, Zabuino Paribe or Zambia Police. Now look at this this way. Standard marginal costing system. What is the examiner telling you you should do here?
You use contribution.
You should use contribution. You see? You should use standard contribution. So for which of the following standard revenue and cost data per unit of product is available? So the selling price is there. Okay, we are happy about it. The materials, you see, this time around, we don't have one material. We have 2 types of materials, A and B. Sometimes we can even have 3, 4, 5, even 6. But the examiner will not go that far to trouble in the exam. So usually the examiner loves giving you 2 materials, at most 3. Okay, so the actual data has been given to us there. So let's work out our standard, let's work out our sales volume variance. So sales volume variance, we say we get the budgeted volume, then we compare with the actual volume, then we multiply the difference with what? The difference with the standard contribution. So let's go. This one is easy. What was our budgeted volume? How many units have we budgeted? See, budgeted sales for the 3 months period were, see that? 50,000. So we have 50,000 units. So our budget is 50,000 units. Okay, let's go to actual. What is our actual production? See, sales and production, actual, how many? 48,000 units. You see? So we've got a variance of 2,000 units. Now the difference here, we don't multiply with the standards like we were doing before. Here, since we are doing with the marginal costing principles, this guy, we are going to get the standard contribution. So the selling price is 12. So contribution is equal to selling price minus variable costs. Selling price is 12 minus variable costs. What are our variable costs? You multiply 2.5 multiplied by 1.7, you have this guy. 1.5 multiplied by 1.2 per kg, you have that guy. And then this guy multiplied by that guy, you have that guy. What is your total contribution? What is the total variable cost? Total variable cost? Total? How much?
Just a minute.
Total, give me the total.
8.75.
8.75. 8.75. So we remove 8.75 from 12. What is our contribution?
3.25.
3.25 kwacha per unit. So how much is our variance? Well, this variance is an adverse variance. So how much is our variance there? How much is our variance? How much?
6,500.
6,500.
You are giving me double figures. How much?
6,500.
6,500. Okay. So the variance is 6,500. Add this. Always report variances in money, not in units. So you see, the volume variance is easy variance. So when we want the operating statement, you also remember that point. Oh, finally, Mr. Cassia is back. So there we go. So next thing we do, we go to our next calculation. So if you want that variance, you can even write it on your answer sheet so that there you go. You can even say the budget was 50,000 units, whatever the budget was. And then there was the actual of 48,000 units, blah, blah, blah. You have the 2,000 units, add this, and then you multiply by the 3.25. You have your 6,500 units, 500 kwacha, add this, blah, blah, blah. You move on like that. Okay, so now let's go. So now here, what we have is this. We have something better than what we have done. But I feel what we have done is better than what we're about to do. So let's go. We have this one here. The next question is calculate what, Professor?
Planning and operational variances.
These are possibly the easiest variances on earth. Planning and operational variances, because you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is close your eyes and write the figures. So planning and operational variances has got a format. And the format for planning is you get the original budget and then you compare with the revised. This is where you make a name in the exam. So when you're dealing with planning and operational variances, planning, what you do here is equal to, you get original, have you seen? And then you compare with revised. Have you seen? Then operational, you get revised, you compare with actual. These are possibly the easiest variances on planet Earth. So if you have a challenge with these variances, you should possibly ask for help, look for a therapist. I don't know what kind of services therapists offer. If the services are extended to helping somebody who is having a challenge with variances, but here we go. What is the original here? The original is the budget. What was the budget? This company at the budget of how many units? 50,000 units. Have you seen? Now see, 50,000 units. What was the revised during the year? We've been told that a recession in 2023 meant that the market for ZP declined by how much?
By 5%.
So there was a revised. So from 50,000 demand to less than 50,000 by 5%. Have you seen? So what do we do there? There we are going to get, so that means we have 95% remaining of the demand. So what do we do there? When we go to our answer sheet, here we bring the original is 50,000. You see? That's the original. The revised here, we have this guy. We have 50,000. We multiply by the remainder of the demand is 95% because 5% has declined. If you are the type that loves wasting time, you could have done 50,000 multiplied by 5%. You get some figure, and then you come and less from the 50,000, then you get some figure to come and compare if you love wasting time. So here, 50%, 95% of 50 is how much?
47,500.
47,500. You see, units. So we've got a 2,500 adverse units. You see, these are adverse units. You see, now here you have to be careful because the question said something very specific here. This is where most students miss it. It said planning and operation variances for sales volume. You see the word volume? Whenever you see the word volume, think about contribution. And this time they've told you it's marginal, so think about standard contribution. So you're multiplying the difference with the standard contribution. If they just said planning and operational variances, we wouldn't have thought about volume. If it was just maybe material price or material share, but this time around the examiner says volume, so use the standard contribution, which is now very much famous at 3.25 multiplied by 3.25 kwacha per unit. So how much do we have then? What is our variance? Our variance, please. 8,125.
25.
That's our variance. Let's get another free mark. Now, the operational variance is what? The revised, this guy, the revised, which is the 47,500 units. And the actual, what was the actual production? These are the easiest variances on earth. The actual production was how many units?
48.
Okay. So now there you go. You even bring your 48,000 there. So now you have a variance again of our main units of 500 units favorable. It's a good thing. The actual results were better than the revised, which is a good thing. So all the same, we multiply with the same standard contribution of 2.5 per unit. So we get our operational variance of how much?
Of 1,625.
1,625, 1,625 kwacha. Favorable. You see? Now, the examiner is interested in this guy I'm about to tell you. You see, your budget was that you planned to make 50,000 units. And as we said here, so let's go. Let's say here, if we look at our question here, see, our budget here, we planned that the budget was going to be 50,000. So we've got the material, whatever it is, balance. Our budget was 50,000 units. Let's say 50,000. Have you seen that? Now here, because of something that we don't know in the market, a recession of 5%, we declined to what? We declined to 47.5. This guy, we have no control. You see, because we don't run the business. We don't run the business. We don't run the market. We run the business, not the market. So there we go. Here on the operation, you see, on the operational guys here, we have control. You know why? Because we can fire somebody who is slow and replace them with somebody more competent. You see? So we have control on our operations. So the reason why we do operation variances and planning, we want to see this guy, we want to see who to blame. You see? Should we blame the production manager? Should we blame the purchasing manager? Or should we just blame the market? The other thing we want to see, apart from who to blame, we want to see what we can control. What can we change something? So you see, according to the market, things were bad. It was 8,125. things were so bad. But the guys in the production department, in the operations of our company, they were able to work so hard that they were able to reduce the variance from how much? From 1625, from 1,825 to how much? To 1,600, by 1,625. So meaning the total variance now becomes this guy minus that guy. You're going to have the total material or whatever variance it is that you're working at. That is the variance. So you have to know who to blame on this one. So these are the easiest variances on earth. Okay. If you have a problem with these variances, you need to see a therapist for a massage. Yeah.
Then massaging you does what?
When he massages you, he pinches you, maybe some senses can wake up. Those guys are good at pinching people. So there we go. We can talk about the price now. Price, mix, yield, variances for each material. You see? Price, mix, and yield. So we are working out how many things? 3 things. Have you seen how quick you can pass an exam with these variances? Very quick. Okay, so let's go to the price variance. The price variance is the same as the normal variance. The only different variance we're going to calculate is the mix and the yield for each material. So what is our price variance? Our price variance is simple. Simply compare the prices. The amount of money, the prices. Simply compare what we budgeted to what we actually happened, the budget and the actual. So what is the price variance here? Material has got 2 variances. We plan to spend how much? Have you seen? Now see, according to the standards, according to our standard here is what we planned. We planned that we are going to spend how much? For material A, we plan to spend to use 2.5 kg at how much? At 1.70 kwacha per kg, which means per unit we plan to spend 4.25 kwacha. Material B, we plan to spend 1.8 kwacha on each material. Have you seen? Did we spend according to what we planned? That's what we're trying to look at. So 4.25, copy that, and 1.8. Let's go. So what was the actual material used? The actual material used were 121.951. At what cost? At 200. That is for material A. For material B, they used the 67 at what cost? At this one. So what we want to do now, we want to say the 121, how much was it supposed to cost them if they had used what? If they had used the standard. The standard was how much? Was 1.70 per kg. So these kgs at this price, how much can it cost them? And then the 7,200 at this price, how much can it cost them? Then we see where there's a variance in material price or not. Are we okay with that? So let's move on. Madam Emma, are we okay?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. So the price variance, there we go. So material price. So there we go. We've got for material A, we've got different types of material. We've got material M. So for material A, they used how many units for material M? How many kgs? They use 121,951. Have you seen kgs of material A? So the thing is, at the standard, these kgs should cost. Are you seeing? Should cost us how much? Should cost us, you multiply by 1.7 kwacha per kg, which is how much? How much is that?
2073.17.
Okay, 317. But did cost them how much?
200.
Yes, did cost 200,000. So you see, so according to the actual results, we see there's a favorable variance of how much? Of 7,317 kwacha. Favorable. They spent less on material than the budget. Okay. On material B, on material B, here is what should have happened. They used the 7,200 kgs. These kgs should cost, at standard, should cost them how much?
Mm.
The standard was 1.2 per kg.
1, 2.
How much is that?
It's giving us 80,640.
80,640 kwacha. But did cost how much? How much did it cost them?
4,000.
How much?
4,000.
84.
84,000 flat.
Yes.
So here we have an adverse variance of how much?
640.
Nope.
3,360.
3,360 kwacha adverse. There's a kwacha on top there. Okay, let me just put it for the sake of those who may forget. Okay, so you see, and you know the reason for this variance. We've already explained why they're having this kind of price variances. We've explained what it means already in our earlier sessions. Okay, so now here we can now move on. So you see the total quantity used here. If you want, we could have worked it out something like this differently, but anyway, no problem. So let's go to part B. So part B of the question says this. So upon shape, you see, mix and yield. Have you seen? Mix and yield variances for each material. So each material find out the mix and each material find out the yield. Now, here there's a formula. And nobody can learn the formula for you apart from yourself. So if you don't like formulas, here you have no choice but to learn. Because if you don't learn the formula, there's a higher chance that if this question comes up, you will fail. So we have price, we have usage, and then on the usage, we have the mix, and then we have the yield. So on the usage, what we used to make, if we made 50,000 units, we are mixing material A and material B. So I want to find out from these units, what portion of material B is contained in these units and what portion of material A is contained in those units. Have you seen? And then what was the total result of each material in terms of production? So there are lots of things we can talk about here, but for the sake of this, for the purpose of this session, I want us to use this formula. So the one way we can do it is this way. There are two materials here. We've got material A and material B. So let's go with the format first. There's a format for this, for material mix. Material mix as a format, and I'm writing a format for you right now. The format for material mix is this one here. Well, the format, we have number one, all you have to do is get actual quantity. Actual quantity, you see, in standard mix, and also get the actual quantity again in actual mix. You just have to know this formula. Then here we have a difference. After the difference, we have our standard cost per kg. Standard cost per kg. And then we have our variance. So this format, you have to know it, whether you like it or not. So we've got material A and we've got material B. Okay, so here, material A, we get this actual quantity in standard mix and actual quantity in actual mix. The actual quantity in actual mix is possibly the easiest to spot because you get the actual quantity. For A, they used 121,951. And then for B, they used 67,000, 67,200. Yes, which gives you the total of 189,151. Now, let me just help you to make things easier here. When you have this figure, just transfer it here to make the long story short. So you have 189,151. This one is simple because this is the total material that you used is this one. So whether you split the material, the total still have to come to this one. Have you seen? So remember, what we're trying to find out from this total is what is the portion of A in this total according to the budget, and what is the portion of B in that total according to the budget, the standard. Have you seen? That's what we want to do. So what you're going to say A plus B, have you seen, is equal to AB. So which means for us to get the portion, we're going to say A over AB multiplied by this guy, the total, the 189,151. So how many kgs do we need of A per unit? How many kgs of A do we need per unit? Okay, there we go. For A, we need about 2.5 kgs. For B, 1.5 kgs. Total, 4 kgs per unit. Have you seen? So all you do, make a fraction. Now you know, you get the one for A. What is A? A is 2.5. B is 1.5, which gives you 4 kg per unit of material A and B. So to get the portion of A from this total here, all you do is simply get 2.5 over 4.0 multiplied by 189,151. How much do you have? What is the portion of A in this figure? Let's go. What is the portion of A in that figure? Give me figures. When you multiply that figure, you should get 118,219. And then this figure simply less from this figure, 118,219, it should go to give you 70,932. So when you add this guy plus that guy, the total should be this guy. It's the same thing. That's why we said just get this figure here and bring it here. This is why the difference here should always be 0.
Okay.
If you find a figure, you should know something is wrong with you. So now there, what do? You less. You less. You less this. Now here, before you less, I want to explain what this means. And to explain what this means, let's move on to the next page. And for those of you who are watching us online, I want to mention that stay tuned and see us in our next video, where we finish up this question of mix and yield. Please stay tuned as we move on to the next video.